All right, let's get this party started. Where we at? How's this going? Is this up? Is this up and going? All right, so I'm looking at the snowflake, and I think that this is probably one of the best plays that we're going to see today. I don't know how much it's going to run for us right now. I really want to get a lower fill than this. I'd like to buy like 10 of these at like 15, probably back down to this level, but I don't want to buy the opening print. I am going to dabble in at 150, so I put two limit orders there basically to just trigger me. And then if I can get them back down to like 149, I would love that. So we're going to see what happens here. The limit right now is at 168. I might dabble in just one or so here in a second now that it's pulling back a little bit because I feel like this thing has so much strength and a huge opportunity to push. So I'm going to buy one here at 162 just to try to get a little bit of love in here. But I really want to get 10 around this yellow line. So I'm just dabbling in right here before we retest this 150-ish. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but if you look at the daily chart, okay, we got one. That's fire. So I got one at 165. I have two more being waited for me right now. I'm basically seeing this level right here. It looks like a nice flag. It looks like it's probably going to push above this 155. I don't know if it'll go to 160 today, but if it does, that would be pretty cool. Have two more down here at 150. Don't want to chase the opening print because we could go red somewhat today. It looks like the market's selling off a little bit. So just being patient, but I am watching this as the highest watch for me today because it could push towards that 155 level. This is from the daily chart. I think that's huge. I think that is going to be exactly what's going to happen here. So pushing to that level, looking at that 155 mark is the target price for snow. But I hate to trade the first 15 minutes. I just want to get involved because I feel like this is going to push up pretty crazy. So I'm only in one right now. I just dabbled, as you can tell. I only have one here at 165. It's at 172. I have two more down here at 150, and I would love to get about 10 to 20 contracts if we get towards this 150 level. So that's my game plan for right now. Just going to wait, let it set out. And I'm watching for this bounce level on SPY around 411. So this looks pretty weak to me right now. I wouldn't take a bounce play on this just yet because there is a bounce play at that 411. Let's take a look at how the market has been so choppy lately. So I'm looking at the, let me look at these SPX plays real quick. The SPX has been tough to play. You kind of have to get in and right out when you're scalping. So I might open up the day with a couple quick little scalps over here. 4140s. These are really cheap. That shows me that there's not going to be a lot of movement today. But if there is a lot of movement, that's when you know the market is going to go crazy. So you can make a ton of money off these if there is movement today. This is just a nice little sell-off all day. 412.75. Could be a nice little move up. I'll have to wait and see. I'm going to wait for that 411 test, though, which is right here at this level. 411 is exactly where I'm looking for that bounce. So I would probably try to do a little bit of a dip buy at that 411. This would be my... I'll change this to yellow for my dip buy potential. This is the high of the day target. So this is where I would look to sell some contracts if I get involved. So I'll make that green. Blue is a support line. Another support line at 410.50. I'm going to probably get rid of this one. Just extend this a little bit more so we can see a little bit more clearly here. So now we got this 411. This yellow is where I'm trying to get involved in these SPX calls. They are 324 a piece right now. Probably down here they'll be worth a little under 300. I would try to buy some quick contracts for a nice little scalp for a nice little bounce play. We are faded off pretty nicely right now. So just waiting. This is the 15-minute chart, so I should zoom in over here to see what we got going on. Looks like it's pretty weak over there on the 15, and then this is all my stuff from yesterday. So I got caught in trying to play a bear flag yesterday, and it wasn't a bear flag, so I ended up losing. I was trying to run a challenge where I was green every day in April, but started off on a wrong foot. So going to started off better today. So here we are. Looking for Snowflake. Let me take a look at this guy real quick. Snowflake is off and running to the races. So this is at 3. I'm only in one contract and it's up $65 a piece. That is pretty brutal because I wanted that so badly, a lot cheaper. That's okay. I wanted 10 of those. That would have been a nice little $600 game, but I'm not going to buy the opening print. So I'm up 40% on that one contract already, which is pretty nuts to think about. Snow is going crazy. Holy shit. I bet you it gets that 155 break. Wow. I'm only in on one, too, and I'm up 53%, 54%. $90 on one contract. That's so disrespectful. I wanted it to pull back at least a little bit more. I had these two right here at 150. Man, this thing is just going to squeeze. I feel like I should just get more. Well, it's already about to hit my target, so I might have to sell out. I just made 67% on one contract. All right, I'm selling one, but that wasn't what I wanted. I wanted 10, but I'll take the $122 profit on one contract. So holy shit, that's crazy. All right, so I was in on one and I just sold the one because it just hit my target price. Obviously, it's right here. I think we're gonna go higher, but I think I have to scale in. I don't think it's just gonna rip up like that. I think we're gonna have to see a little bit of weakness, and then we'll pull back. Only had one contract. Was looking for a bunch more at 150. One contract literally just paid $122. That would have been a nice $1,200 profit. So I took the profit there off that little jump up. I'm expecting that rejection. The levels that I create are always like so spot on. It's nuts. Struggling this level, it's gonna have to push up towards that 155 here in a second. But I do see the market selling off a little bit, so that's good to see. And now, would love to see a little pullback down here to like 152.50. Let me see if I can create an alert. So if it does end up pulling back, which I don't know if it's going to pull back down that much. Let me try like a 153 here. That thing is still running. I just wanted to secure the gains real quick. And these are now worth 295. I sold for 290, I think. 280, yeah. So, I mean, that's a pretty crazy run for Snowflake right at the open. I don't know if it's going to stay that strong, but we'll have to wait and see. And I'm also going to look for this dip buy right here on a quick scalp. Now that I have a little bit of profit on just a couple contracts over here, I doubt that I'll take too many. But just looking for a nice little touch of this 411, and then I would probably just buy one or two real quick if we can get down there, just for a nice little pop up and down. Kind of hugging this little Bollinger Band right here. I don't really like that, but I'm going to put in a limit order down here at 200, see if it fills. Kind of lagging a little bit. Just grabbed one at 225. I'm going to delete the other one just because it seems pretty weak to me. If it gets below 411, I'll probably try to scoop one last one. But I'm going to keep my stop pretty small on this. I'm going to do like 190-ish. It's falling pretty nice right now. I could stop myself out. $50 potentially. It did just break below my level, but I feel like we're going to bounce here in a second. 15 looks ugly. There's a lot of room down to 410.50. I had that line drawn earlier. That's really kind of where it's at. This is where I'm probably going to have to, I'm going to have to flip these real quick. I feel like this is going to be green and this is red to sell. I did get one at 225, so I'm down about $50 on the one contract right now, but I might scale into this. It looks a little weak. Seems to be a little overextended in my opinion. I'm not going to scale into too many until I start to see a turnaround. That's the only issue I see. I would love to see Snowflake one more time. All right, we're getting that pullback here. I would love to see it back down to this 153. I'm going to let that one contract go. It's only 200 bucks. Just for a second until I analyze this 155 contract. It's a 256. I sold for 280. I really want to get a bunch of these, but I think I may have missed the main entry down here at 175. I had one at 160. This looks like it's still going to continue to go. It's breaking that 150, so it did hit that target. I don't really want to chase this squeeze. It could go up to this, I'm looking at this resistance point right here that it hit at 156.70. I think that's really possible, but there's not a ton of volume in snow, and the contracts act pretty weird, so could end up shredding you pretty crazy. These contracts do move around a lot, so just be careful with that guy. I feel like this is it's going to have another move up here pretty soon. But snow went absolutely crazy. Went nuts. I guess it could hit this 156. I might look for puts, honestly, up here in a little bit. Oh, shit, I forgot about that other trade. I got to go back to SPX real quick. Still at this 185 level, which I don't feel like is that bad. I might end up, this might be a short trading day for me, honestly. Watch, if I can catch this bounce real quick on 10 contracts, this shit could pay over $1,000 pretty fast. We'll see what they got going on here. I don't like the fact that they're holding it down. Usually when it holds down like this and there's no bounce, there's just no volume, no buyers, no nothing. I got in at 225 here. It's at 185, 190, so I'm only down 30 bucks. 45 bucks. But still up 75 on the day. So I didn't realize this loss just yet. I might try to get one more here and look for a nice little bounce at this green line, which is right at this 410.50. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit more of a weakness candle right here and look for this double bottom bounce potentially. Just want to see a little bit towards that 410.50. I might try for one right here. It's getting right at that green line. All right, so I have a second one at 170. My average is 200 here. So if it gets anywhere near this rip back up towards this 411.50, I'm in business. But I got to check the daily chart real quick. I'm also going to clear this drawing set. Looks pretty weak, honestly. Maybe it hits this 410-ish area before a bounce. The 15-minute chart is hella weak. 1 hour chart. I'm just looking for just a small bounce. That's really all I'm looking for. Just bounced a little bit at that 410.50. I don't know if I'm going to make too much off this. This doesn't look like it has too much strength on the green side here. If you look at this 15-minute chart, these big ass red candles, usually you'll see a little bit more of a spike up. I could see maybe to that 411, which might pay me like $30, $40 a contract. But I'm just looking for this bottom reversal a little bit here. Just not a ton of volume, so not in too heavy, only in on 2. Might even just break even on this bad boy. Only down 15 a contract. It doesn't look like it has enough juice today. That's the only issue I'm seeing. Notice how when it tries to bounce, it still continues to go red, so not liking that. Still going to hold on, though, because it's only $20 away from the money. So if we get any sort of volume, it could push. Only down 10 a contract. I don't think I'm going to make too much off this, but I am going to hold on to just a little bit longer. See if we can push this back up towards that like 250 mark. Take another 100 bucks. Call it quits. Always got to play those big ass sell-offs. I might sell one at like 220 if I can, just to get back, because it looks like that 411, we could reject it, come back down pretty heavily. This is starting to form a nice little inverse cup and handle too, so I might have to just sell one flat here and see what we got for the second one. Actually, I'm going to get out of this. I got out of one real quick. I don't really like the sell-off technically because it's just so weak. There's not a lot of volume here on this little reversal candle. A lot of sellers right there. It's just so small. So I'm still sitting right at that. I'm up $2 on this play. So I like that bounce, but it wasn't strong enough for me to continue to hold that too long. We'll see what happens here. If we see another green candle, I might take it for this big ass reversal because we could always just push up, which would be easy money. The volume is these blue candles right below. And I can also see it on the contract levels here, and I can see the volume over here. I just don't like that this 15-minute chart over here has this big-ass red candle because this is a bearish engulfing candle. Then we usually see some consolidation and then a much larger leg down, and there is room down to that 410. And this, whatever this wick is right here, is 409.75. I don't know if that's a real wick or not, but it's one thing I'm paying attention to. I have to peep Snow again real fast. How's she doing? She's coming back down, which I like to see. So we might see some more weakness on this before that break, but it did hit my target, so I don't know if I'm going to go too heavy on that. If we start to break down a little bit more towards this 140, 152-ish, I might start to dabble in some bull flag calls, but this is a little bit too early for my liking right now. And this looks pretty weak, so we could see some nice downside. I might try to re-enter into that. On the daily chart, usually when you see these breakouts, you see these little wicks, and then near middle of the day, they'll start to run their way up there if they're still bullish. So just keep a small stop on that. And I'm just holding on to this this little reversal. It's at 210. I might just hop out of this, honestly. I don't really like the way this is set up. If it'll sell me out 210, I'll take the $12 profit. Or I guess $5. If it wants me out. The reason I don't really like this, I'm trying to get out, is because of this little consolidation candle for that next leg down, which is kind of freaking me out, which I feel like is right around the corner. I just sold out. I just stopped out flat until I have a good grip on where the market's going. I don't really have any idea where this SPY is going to go. If it pushes up, then I missed out, but I'm not going to. I made $5 on that trade. So I'm up 127 on the day pretty quickly. Now it's starting to push a little bit, which is annoying, but that's all right. I feel like this still has that consolidation where it could push down, and I don't want to risk that. I just don't like the formation. Snow could be a good opportunity here. But this is just so weak and hugging this downside. Until I see some sideways consolidation, then I would look for that reversal. But the first 15 to 20 minutes is always very risky to play. The volume is so bad, and especially when I'm playing same-day expiration contracts, they don't move too much. I mean, if this starts to spike up, they probably would have paid pretty nicely. Now they're up to $30, $40 a piece. I took $5, but I was a little bit nervous to take 10 contracts down here when it has this opportunity to spike right back down. I just don't like these moves. As a trader, I only look for volatility and larger candlestick moves. That's not one of them. But what does have it is Snow. And I honestly kind of want to pay attention to Tesla, too. They're a little weak. This is starting to form a base around 153. Let's see what the contracts are worth, though. Snowflake right here. They're 265. I can't believe I got these for 160 earlier. I only got one contract. I was really hoping we would see like a little spike down towards that 151-ish, and I would have snagged as many as I possibly could. But it just started ripping up, and I never chased the tops. But luckily, at least we had one. We had some piece of it. But look at these contract values. Right at open, they were 130, ran all the way to 330. Now they're at 267. Would much rather start to scale in under 2. I just don't know if we're going to get that. Looks like it's trying to break out for that second leg here in a second. SPX is up to 35. That's pretty brutal. I don't know if this is forming a base to turn around or if this is the bear flag. These Snow contracts are moving crazy, though. I might have to play with Snow instead. What time's the ship? I got a basketball game tonight. I got the championship and on my league, and these kids are filthy that we're about to play. They all started at Tulsa, which is nuts. I'm waiting for a little bit more action here, and then we'll get in here. Oh, last game I had a pretty bad game. I think I scored like 14, but I just couldn't get anything to fall. This kid on my team dropped 40 points, though. He is disgusting. Oh, we won't be red on the day. We're small green right now. This is going to be a $1,000 day. I'm just waiting for the perfect setup. Going to scale into 10, and then we're going to watch it rip. I'm kind of biased to the upside right now, which is never a good thing. But meta, or the snowflake play, was my biggest watch on the day. And I love this thing. I just hate that it ripped up. I would have loved to see a little bit of weakness at open, or at least a little bit of sideways consolidation, but 155 was my target, and it just ran. So I caught some of it, but I didn't catch a lot of it. I don't care about float. I don't trade penny stocks either. I think penny stocks are garbage, but I know a lot of people like to trade them. They're looking for that big ticket winner, but I mean, that big ticket winner can make you $1,000 for having so much money at risk. When in reality, you can make $1,000 trading SPX and only putting like $400 at risk. So I don't know. I just think it's better to be trading option contracts if you're in and out. Ooh, did I miss out? Looks like the QQQ is spiking a little bit. My TQQQ shares are going crazy. Let's go, baby. ETH almost at 19. Oh, it tapped 1900 today. Holy shit. Guys, if this green line is my target sell in this cycle, I'll take some profit at this level. I bought so many ETH coins in both Coinbase and Robinhood, and I transferred them obviously. But this is back up to this level. This will be I'll have to be going to like Aruba or something at this 2700 level. Be celebrating a nice little milestone at this level. Just waiting. Got to be patient on that bad boy. 1905 it hit today. Let's go. Snowflake is just zooming. 320. Is Meta also doing its thing? I feel like NVIDIA is another one that we should be watching towards that high, but it's probably weak right now. Got up to 280. I don't know if it's going to keep ripping towards that high. It's kind of been following what Meta's been doing, but let's check this uptrend real quick. It's kind of right on it. We could bounce towards that 280 again. Remember that the market is closed on Friday. I think. Might have to double check me on that, but I believe so. It's either Friday or Monday. 280s are 218. They would pay about $100 a contract on a reversal. A little bit of a bear flag here. Not loving that. Tesla might get a little bit of a bounce here, though. It's been selling off for 2 days. I might play this. I might play a little bit of Tesla on this bounce. I feel like there is some room to the upside. And I'll probably play these like 197.50s or maybe these 200s for Friday. Let's see what we got. Or just 161. Look at analyze all the larger time frames here. It looks like there's a support line at this 192.50, so that's probably not. This probably isn't the best entry point. 15-minute chart also doing that one candlestick that I was just telling you about. I honestly might play the put side. Maybe I'll play the puts on Tesla here. They didn't have the best inventory numbers, and they've been running like crazy. So I'm assuming at some point here they'll get some sort of pushback from 230. So these will be about $40 a contract here. If I can get a target price, if I can see these at like 196, no, that might be a little bit too strong. I'm gonna look at this 195 level. This seems to be like a nice little reversal. So I'm going to set an alert for at or above 195.20. So if this can run another 20 cents, I might look into getting involved with Tesla. So right around this level. It has a nice little reversal pattern. Could probably see this, even this 196. So I would look at it here and probably start to take a little bit of reversal on the downside there, because there's a lot of room down to that 192, and then I see that 190 again as well. I feel like this is a nice base. This is a nice base. Could see some good opportunities in Tesla to the downside if the market stays weak and it's not moving again. So Snowflake is just cooking. I'm going to wait for that Tesla setup. I'm going to wait for SPY to kind of figure out where the hell it wants to go. It's very choppy, but it's kind of all I got right now. I don't really want to just like sit here and scalp and trade until I see these perfect levels set up. But I'm going to watch the SPY real quick. I'm going to go grab some water real quick. So give me 1 second. Why is it that 10 o'clock always moves the needle? All right, so I'm going to look at these real quick. That has a nice little spike up. I'm going right for that, SPX. I love that volatility right there. I need to get to these quick, though, like really quick. Going right here to these, I don't know, 41.45s. 265, they're worth. Come on, give me there. The stream always makes me lag, every time. All right, I went from 230, that's not bad. Looks like it's going to try to reverse here, though. And I missed it. God damn it. I had to get water. I was looking for these calls. I tried to get in some calls down at like that 250 level. They just ran. Crazy bastards. All right, so now I'm looking at that 412 level for sure. These 41.45s were just worth, what, under 200? That's nuts. That's a crazy rip. That probably sent Snow to the fucking trenches, too. Wow. 156. We're pushing. That's my other target on Snow. I'm probably going to just delete these because now that hit my target. But I was trying to get these at that 250 level, and they started to run a little bit. It would have been a nice little scalp on the SPX. Usually when you see a big spike like that and then a large wick right back down, we like to fill it again. So I'm just watching out for these right now. Where are we at in the SPX? 41.33. These 41.45s could go in the money, easy money. I feel like I want to try to dabble into these. A little bit of a pullback here. I would like to get back involved. Just like small opportunity, maybe under 300, but I don't know if it's going to let me. A little pullback down to like 40, 411.40. I would try to grab a couple, not too many, but I still think that we could retest this 412.76. All right, we're pulling back a little bit here. I dabbled a little bit at 3. Let's see what happens. There's a lot of volume there, so if it sells off, this will show me that there's going to be a massive drop today, well below 410. So if this goes completely red and heads to this low of the day, that's when you know it's going to get pretty ugly. It's starting to set up that way too. Damn. If this goes red, this is gonna be a big sell-off day. Usually on those big data points, that triggers all the sell signals. So unless this gets bought back up, that's not a good sign. I'm in one at 3 too. They're worth 250 right now, 240. Question is do I want to get in a bunch of these? Also, Tesla, did it spike up a little bit? I'm gonna wait for one more little green candle here, and then potentially take those 190 puts if the market continues to be weak. But no real direction from me just yet. Obviously only up small, but I don't like to trade this much within the first hour, so I'm just being cautious. Looks like the buyers are stepping in. They saved that drop, so that's a good sign. Popped up to 412. Yeah, I think we have space. I feel like these contracts could be well worth like over $800 on a run today, because I feel like there's that 413 is really kind of what I'm paying attention to up here, and then there's also a 414 level that I've been looking at too. So I feel like there's a lot of room. There's a lot of room to run. So I'm just being patient. Snowflake was the best play of the day today by far, and I think that we have a pretty good setup going right now. So just watching snow. Snow, holy shit! I can't even look at that. That was the right idea. I just could not hold on. Those are worth 425, and I sold them for almost 300, so an extra 125 a piece. That's nuts. Down 35 on the SPX. I think I might end up grabbing one more right here. I think we're going to run. If I can get one at 265, that'd be fire. But it's really right at 300 right now. Looking for that push above 412. I think it's possible. I just don't like the fact that the Bollinger Bands are looking at each other when they push down. I hate that. I'm only at 1. Such weird action lately, guys. It hasn't really been an easy trading month, really, over the last month or so. Tesla could start to form that little push down, so I'm gonna be really cautious about this. It feels like this isn't breaking out as much as it should be. And if it's not gonna go right now, it's not gonna go at all. I'm trying to be patient. I might set my stop loss pretty small down here, like $50, but I think that Tesla put might be the best opportunity right now, because if it starts to curl down and make this little bear flag situation, this could retest that 190, and those contracts would really pay a lot of money. So I'm just going to hold on to these for one more second. If it breaks this little uptrend, I'm out. If it doesn't hold this VWAP level, I might try to snag one last one. But this looks really weak to me, the 15 with all this little pullback. It needs to see some more volume here. Tons of volume, not as much volume, and it's starting to retest this little uptrend, but we'll see what happens here. High of the day was already hit. That seems to be a nice little resistance point, this 411.66. I'm only in one right now. I might dabble into two and keep a small stop. 280 would put me at 290 average, and then I could stop myself out of 40. That'd be about $100. But on the upside here, we could make a lot of money to the $400, if not more. Just might take a little bit. And the SPX is a really hard one to trade, so to have this really small ass volatility is really tough. I would love to see this high of the day break, this 412. That would make another like 150, maybe $200 a contract. I'm only in one just because the volume is so little, but yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the time and sells or data come through that's showing me that there's going to be any sort of movement. Looks like it could be a sell-off, honestly. It's a little cup and handle, like a tiny one on the 5-minute. The 1-minute time frame is a little bullish, but I don't ever really look at the 1 minute because it doesn't make any sense. 30-minute trying to reverse. 1 hour. You really don't need a ton of trades in a day. You just kind of have to execute it perfectly. This is just not a good setup. But if we start to reverse, this Tesla put could be pretty crazy. Down to that 190 level. I think 192 from yesterday. These could fade off. I'd be happy taking a small gain on this play, but it's just stuck. And you can tell that theta destroys it when it goes sideways. This was the best play of the day, and I cannot believe I only caught one contract on it. And I don't know if it's going to run all day. Could start to pull back at some point here pretty soon. But just beware. Give it like a little, maybe like a little dip buy right here at this 155 level. I might actually end up taking that. So I'm going to create an alert right here. I'm going to make it a little bit above it. Boom. All right, so below this 155, I'm probably getting back in this because this will be a nice little bull flag. It's strong. The market's kind of ass, but we'll see if this can bull flag. If it breaks this uptrend, I'm going to get out of this trade. I feel like right now it could go, though. Nah, this isn't. Usually if you see this and you see these big little spikes down, that shows you there's a ton of sellers. So that needs to be a big, massive buy candle come over here to sweep them up and we would squeeze, or this thing is just going to get destroyed. So every time it pops up, if it doesn't get above this wick or above this wick in any time soon, this is coming down. So I am going to set my stop loss like 240 here. And I would lose $60 on the trade, maybe like 70 if it goes all the way through. But I'm going to slowly follow it up there because it could reject at any point, which I think is actually probably right around the corner. I don't know if this is going to end up breaking out or not. It doesn't have enough strength. And this is where stop losses are your best friend. So I'm about to get stopped out here. But I honestly would love to play that snowflake pullback. It's really close to my stop loss. So you can see it at 245. It's at 250. Any little spike down is going to hit me. And I'll just stop myself out. Which would be a nice little $60 loss or so if it ends up coming down. It's trying to hold this uptrend. We'll see what happens. Nice little bounce. I could follow this up, but I don't know. There's just no volume. I can't determine the direction right now, so I'm just going to be patient until I see the perfect setup. Usually we get a little bit of volatility midday, and those are usually the better times to trade lately, which is not usual. All right, a little bit of buying here. Remember what I said, if there's any of those big spikes down, that shows me the sellers are here, but I think the buyers took it over. I think we're good. I'm going to cancel that sell order. I think I'm going to push it probably to this 412. I'll most likely sell. Maybe I'll be able to take like $80 or so. Oh, there's that spike down again. They really don't want to push this. I can't watch this anymore. I'm going to sell this flat if it lets me out here. I sold it flat. I had to hop out. There's not enough volatility. I'm not going to force something. If it spikes up, then it spikes up, but this is ass. So I'm going to watch Snowflake, the thing that actually has volume in it, and then take a trade on that. I would love to get in on this little flag, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Not a lot of movement the last 2 weeks. It's a short week, so obviously that's a big problem. The only thing keeping me happy is Ethereum is pushing up because I haven't made too much money on trading in the last 2 weeks. I think a couple thousand maybe. Yesterday set me back a little bit, but I'm going to try to make that back as much as possible today. I'm only up 127, so I think I lost 13 or 1400 yesterday off of that bear flag that didn't break down. So I'm looking for something here. Looking for something. Square Tesla SPY. It's dead. Market is so dead. Tesla potentially here. All right, so we're getting that spike up, but this is pretty bullish that this is breaking out. Not loving that. I'm good, man. How you doing? I'm just waiting for something to happen over here. I bought these SPX calls at 300, and I watched them chop for 20 minutes, so I just sold them flat. For some reason, I love these Tesla puts. Maybe not. I might try a little bit here, see if we can get some action on them, but I'm probably going to try to take these puts at this 196-ish area. I hate that it was all the way up near that 200 mark because it could run up there, but I might just try and dabble in. SPY's been sideways for so long. SPX, I would stay away from it unless you see a lot of volatility. Wow, man, I cannot believe Snowflake did what it did today. Literally, these contracts printed so much, and I had the target to buy in at this 149.46, but it just ripped right at open, and here she goes. Damn. At this rate, this thing might hit 160. I think it's possible now. I might just play Snow. I feel like that's the only opportunity that I have so far today. Let's see, 160s are probably pretty, they're not too bad. They're way more expensive than they were earlier. This is going to hurt by looking at these. Damn, 40 cents to 200. Jesus Christ. All right, so I'm going to watch this level still. I think we got 15. 15-minute charts still showing a lot of strength. 30-minute chart as well. Now that we have some actual action on the day and some length, the SPY is so trash, guys. This is like has not moved in so long. You literally have to scalp it because it just moves so slow. It looks like it moves a lot on the daily chart, but it's so slow that it just shreds all the contracts. It's been pretty brutal to watch. I actually might play the 157.50s on these. They're more expensive, but much better payout. So I would wait for a pullback. That's a massive sell candle, so I'll stay away for a second. I hate that. That 158 rejection. We could see some sideways chop for a little bit before that next leg up. So I will be patient on these down to 256. I would actually love to maybe get some around like 200, maybe like 170. Let's see if that's even possible. Let's see if I'll throw in a couple contracts here at 1.75 if it pulls all the way back there. I'll just put in 3 for now. And then once it triggers me, I'll come in and try to buy more if the market's acting correctly. This shit is ugly. Tesla could potentially be that drop down. I actually might take this real quick too. Been loving this Tesla 190 area. I might do 192.50 just because it would pay better. And I might just dabble in, keep it small. But if this breakdown happens, these could pay nice little $100 to $200 a piece. Just grabbed one. Maybe, let's see, 2 potentially. I just don't want this to stop me out like that. So I might do 240. Keep my stop pretty small. I can put this trade on autopilot too. I feel like a lot of people don't do that. I could put this up, let's say I'll add one more in at 230, so it bounce a little bit, and then I could set my stop loss down here at, let's just say 205. So would stop me on about 60, 70 bucks without me watching. And if it goes my way, then it's going to take some time to get there. Tesla already up $14 a contract. Looks like the market is selling off. I might have to go back to snow real quick because that kind of scares me if the market's going to fall off a cliff. Snow might end up executing me on this trade. I'm going to cancel those for now. This kind of seems like a top. My goal was 155. It looks like it might reach 160, but it might be a little overextended right now. Lots of volume coming in here on this sell candle too, so we could break below this VWAP pretty easily. We'll see. I'll wait for this trigger to hit. It'll alert me below 155.28, and I'll see where the next point of buying is, and it's probably around this 154.80 right below. That's where I would look for a little bounce, and if it doesn't go for there, I would look for probably another bounce right around this 154 level where it consolidated last time. So snow could be a good opportunity. The market just is really weak, so I'm in those Tesla puts for now. And they're already up 12%, 13%. But I think Tesla could pay out pretty nicely. I feel like, oh shit, Tesla's really breaking. I think that this is going to go down to that 192. It's up already $41. Holy shit. How do I, every time I buy one contract, it just goes crazy. I should be starting in a position a little bit heavier. But it's almost near that low of the day already. This thing looks like it's about to fade off pretty easily. Right down towards this low of the day mark. I don't think that SPY is going to double bottom. I really don't. But I've seen crazier things. It looks like a little inverse cup and handle. We could see a little bit of a bounce. That might be the opportunity for people to get involved. But I actually might take the profit on this Tesla play because I've seen Tesla do this a million times. Snow just hit below that mark. I'm going to take some profit on Tesla puts. I only had one contract, so I wasn't too intrigued, but I made 51 bucks. Up 171. Really trying to push for that $1,000 day, but I need one perfect setup. SPY I feel like is cracking down. So with that volatility, I don't know, the market doesn't look too weak to me, but Tesla does. feel like it looks weak. I just sold these for 297 or something like that to 305. This could break all the way down towards that low of the day yesterday, which is 192, with the market being weak. But I hate the fact that they're both at their double bottoms. I would hate to see a nice little rip up. I've seen that happen a million times. So I'm going to take that profit every time, and then I'm going to look at Snowflake one more time because it just hit my entry point potentially. It looks like the buyers are taking their profit. This might be a bad time to enter in. They are at 172. They were just at 300. That's a big red candle. I'd probably wait a little bit longer. Trying to get in one here at 170. It doesn't want me in. All right. I'm in one at the 170 mark here. These Snowflake puts, I mean, the market's like dying right now. It's at 410, but I have a support level of at 410 exactly. So I see this big consolidation. I'm only in one at 171 right now. I feel like we could get a really good opportunity here if it starts to slow down on the sell side. I'm only in one, but I feel like this little buyback could hit that 160 if the market can stop being so ridiculous. Tesla ended up breaking below. This is always sad to see, but this could have been a good payout. But I hate those double bottom bounces. They always are such a big spike that it stops you out almost instantly. Well, let's see if there's any strength left in Snow over here. I might dabble in Snow's a tough stock to trade. The options are pretty toughly priced, and any spike down, these things will move at $1 at a time, which is a lot, which makes the contracts move a lot. So that's why I don't go in too heavy on stocks like Snow. It's just the way that they're priced is pretty brutal. But this was a nice breakdown here on the market. It did bounce that 410 support line. This could go sideways for a little bit, so I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. And I'm going to set an alert at this 154. I feel like we could start to see a couple more red candles here, and then we could start to see a consolidation because it could run up to 160 pretty easily. It's just a little bit exhausted from running so much earlier. But we are below that second candle print, which I like. Snow is a great stock to sell premium on. Like, incredible. But you got to wait till it's pretty beat up, which it has been lately. But sometimes they just completely die. It's a good stock I think it's a good stock to invest in for sure. But to sell premiums, it's really good as well because they're pretty expensive. Could have sold these 157s and collected, $200 pretty quickly on just this drop down. But of course, you'd have to buy the contracts on this. If selling puts, you don't have to own it. You just have to have the cash. To sell calls, you have to own the actual shares. I'm going to wait a little bit here. I feel like there's a little bit more dust that we can probably get through here. A little bit more red. What I love to see is these consolidation candles after this. Couple wicks, a little sideways movement that shows me that we could reverse and start going towards that 160, break that high of the day. I'm only on one at 170, but I really do want to get like 10 of these, if not more. Keep a small stop at like 140. The reason I don't get in like right away is because the stop loss, these could hit me pretty quickly. You just saw these go from 170 to 150 and hasn't moved much. It's because the bid-ask spread is so wide. So you have to make sure that whatever stock or option you're trading, you got to make sure that you understand that the bid-ask spread. So if the bid is at 121 and the ask is at 130, that's a pretty big spread, showing me that there's not a ton of volume in the contracts or the stock, which is why it moves so well on the upside, but don't over position yourself because you could bury yourself as well. By buying 10 of these, you could be down 300, 400, 500 instantly. So you got to make sure that you're entering it at a good point, and that's why I enter in on consolidation candles. So this is pretty weak, 2 massive red candles. We're seeing a little consolidation here, and I just need to see the next one to see which direction it's going to go, because this is a pretty good momentum moving stock. But if I look at these larger time frames, showing me a little bit of a pullback here. Usually I would say that this is a sell signal, but after this massive ass red candle, I've seen it happen so many times where it's just another one that goes on the upside. So we will see here. Same with the 1 hour, 4 hour. Nice little spikes in volume all around. Market's still chopping around even though it shows a bear flag. I don't think it's going to be like a massive sell-off day. I'm down 20 bucks, 15 bucks on this one. Might scale into one more here. Starting to like the slowdown of it. It's still a little red, but I feel like there could be some buyers coming in here. Sellers still have control of it, obviously, with these red candles or pink candles. But as long as it doesn't continue to spike down below, 154, it could still be some buyers coming in to buy at these levels. This 154 was a pretty big level for me to see that break earlier, which is right where I have this drawn and that mark. So we'll have to wait and see. 2 contracts, 6. So 2 contracts right now at high of the day would pay 280 bucks, if not more. So it'd be about 300 bucks on 2. As I start to get into 3, it could be 400. Just waiting for that perfect entry point. This will be a patient trade, but this is I feel like it's a pretty good setup. It looks weak, so does the market, but I like the opportunity potential. Keep the stop small. Yeah, I don't like this again. Just a little chop every time. It's always a little choppy. I'm only up 11 bucks, but I have a weird feeling until we get above this VWAP line, it could be weak. So that's why I'm not adding in more yet. I do kind of like that these are bouncing a little bit, though. I hate that this TTM squeeze is starting to sell off. The volume's falling off. But this consolidation level is always good to see. Usually on these large breakouts, we always start to get closer to them. Where did it sell off the other day? It's right around this 154.41, so it's It seems to be bouncing right at that. That's literally where it's bouncing at. It's bouncing right at that pre-high. So I think maybe I will dabble into a couple more here. The sell-off would be pretty brutal. But I'm going to try one more. See what happens here. I feel like the market could end up returning its way back. But this might chop around for a little bit. So I might do one at 164. I'll do one more limit order at like 152. That way I'll have 4 contracts. Maybe I'll go in for 5 for this trade. It's going to be slower. That's why I'm not going to go in too heavy. And like I said, that's spread, so you don't want to overexpose yourself too much. It says I'm up 31 bucks on 2 contracts. I really want to get a nice position on this because I feel like this is going to be a pretty fat payout. But I would hate that turnaround. I'm putting a limit in at 169. On stocks with big, or options with big spreads like this, same with stocks. If you're doing penny stocks or whatever, the spread, always do limit orders. Don't do market orders because they'll give you a terrible fill. It takes a second. This one's going to be a little bit of a fighter, I feel like, but give it like 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I feel like this is a really good risk to reward ratio. If it breaks down below that 154, I most likely will stop myself out just to keep the stop small. Up 200 on the day. This could really push me well above into like that $700, $800 mark if this starts pushing towards that high of the day. If I can get these 4 to 5 contracts. It's struggling this VWAP, which is not a good thing. Is anyone in on this? Gonna be choppy for a sec. Really enjoy this to fill me on a couple more contracts here. It's nice being up 10% and all, but not on 2 contracts. Can still make a nice little amount of money off this. If you haven't noticed, like I'm not risking too much capital, and whether or not I have 20 or 30K in this account, I'm not risking more than like 400, 500 to sometimes like $2,000 on trades, and they're still returning me that 500 to 2,000 with a very small stop loss. There's ways that you can make money without a ton of money on the table. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and a lot of my money's tied up in long-term investments after that big market crash of 2022. So bought a lot of stocks at some pretty good prices. So a lot of money's tied up for longer term investments, but this trading, I really only ever trade with like 20 to 30K account, and just use that profit that I'm making consistently to funnel those long-term investments. Sometimes I'll throw some money in the bank account. Sometimes I'll throw it into the long-term account. But it doesn't need to be, you don't need to have $1 million to make $1 million. So it makes it easier, that's for sure. But there was a point in my life where I was having like a couple $100,000 in a trading account, and I'm not putting that kind of capital at risk. It just doesn't make any sense to be trading with it's just sitting there and not working for me. So SPY, or could put that money in the QQQ. I have a lot of money in the TQQQ right now, around like 21 average. It's nice to be up 58 bucks, but come on, 2 contracts? I have these limit orders. They're just not filling me. I'll take the 160 average though, because these were at 310, and if this goes to 160, these contracts will be worth like 450. So they'd pay me $600 plus if it gets up towards that level, but at that point I'd be up 800 on the day. But this is still struggling this VWAP line, so this might be a pretty patient trade. Support the RR, baby. Yeah, 15K is perfect. Like, I think that that's like, I have a 20K account, but I think that every time I get to that 25 or 30K, I always will like funnel it out. I take the 5 to 10K profits and just put them somewhere else. It's just it's a realistic way of trading. Really wish that they would fill me on more of these. 20% on the trade is fire, but 2 contracts. Keep in mind these contracts don't expire until Thursday too, so there's not going to be a ton of theta. 21%, 26%. Damn, should have been more. But you guys can start to see this, right? You can see this curl down, nice little level off. You don't want to buy it when it spikes down thinking you're going to get a nice discount because this shows you that the sellers are there. But then when you get a nice little spike down, a wick here, smaller wick, lower volume, smaller wick, lower volume, it could always go against you, but this is where you enter in. Keep your stop loss small so when it starts to go your way, like you're just in business. And I know I'm only in 2 contracts, but I'm up 27%. If I bought 10 of these, that would have been, $500 right there. Obviously, I'm practicing what I'm preaching and being careful with these premiums because they're so wide. So I didn't want to catch this down draw and be down 500 in an instant. So being careful. I also don't trust this market over here. It looks like it could be a nice little sell-off, which this might pull with it. But this seems to have a mind of its own today. So unless it rejects this like 156 and starts pushing down, I feel like it's still a pretty decent opportunity. I could take that profit at 25%. It's never a bad trade, but I feel like on 2 contracts, there's a lot of opportunity for the upside here. At least one more push, or like at least near this 157. Maybe it's tired, maybe it's not enough volume anymore, but I still see a little spike in volume here, so could see a nice little push again. But as you can see, it's struggling because the market is just so ass. But we'll see here. It still looks good to me to start continuing to that upside. 30 minutes, same thing. Around this like 156 above, I feel like I would be really confident. And then 15-minute probably showing pretty similar. 15-minute actually looks pretty weak, which I don't like. 1 hour looks a little bit stronger, so I'm going to hold on. Probably going to scale into a couple more here in a little bit. But I don't like that it keeps rejecting that little breakout. Lots of consolidation. Could easily go below this 154, but I like that it's bouncing at this level at support, 154.40. That was the high of the day 2 days ago. Saw a little red candle yesterday for some consolidation, and now we're looking for that breakout. We did break out, but let's see if it continues that way. The reason it's red is because the market has been so shitty. Just chopping around. I feel like it's probably going to go below this 410, which might pull this down a little bit more. At that point, I'll probably buy more. It is starting to show some weakness. This doesn't look like a reversal to me. I could get out and take my small gains of 7%, but why the hell would I do that on 2 contracts? There she goes. She's starting to come down a little bit, guys. This looks a little weak to me. Still got to get towards this level at 154.44. It seems to be pretty strong at that level. I'm going to buy one more right at that level, though. This could get pretty ugly pretty fast if it starts spiking down towards this 152, 153. So just got to be careful. There's a reason I'm not in 10 contracts just yet until I see that confirmation. I just don't want to see the market break down completely. We've been spiking up for it feels like a million days in a row now. So we're in a clear uptrend, but there is always those consolidation days that push you down pretty crazy. There is this 407 support line that I am seeing. So I thought we were going to go there yesterday. We didn't. Doesn't mean we can't go there today. It's still bouncing at this level, so This is definitely going to be a patient guy. I might have to hop off and just let it do its thing because this is just going to preach at you guys about why I think that snow is going to go to 158. But I think that everybody can see the risk to reward ratio here. You know, I'm scaling in at 164. It's low. Maybe I'll stop myself out at 140, lose $24 a contract. Might be about $80 to $100. But on the upside, I could be making, you know, if I have 4 contracts, this could be well over 500, and that hits that 3 to 4 to 5 R multiple that I always talk about that I look for. I hate to buy in the middle of these ranges for sure, but this has so much positivity. It's got a lot of consolidation. The market's weak and it's not really breaking down too much. So I feel like at any given time that this turns around, this will continue its path towards that 160 level. And it's still having a nice little support right here at that massive green candle from 2 days ago. So just waiting. Just playing it. Doesn't really look like it wants to move too much just yet, but it is 1043. Oh shit, there we go. It just broke down. Just broke down that level. But we'll see what the buyers do here. So it was up 90, only down $17 on 2. Showing a little bit of weakness. Market as well, 109 or 409. This is the other support line that I was looking for, 153.60. See what they got here. Let me go in one more. Got one more at 140. I am scaling in. It does look weak. Definitely very weak. But for some reason, I just think that this could be a good opportunity. Three contracts here at high of the day is probably about $700, $800. Only down $48. Have a little bit of money to play with too because I'm up 166. Just trying to use some house money to get towards that $300, $400, $500 range. Then I can take a nice little position and push myself towards that $1,000 range, and that'll be about the goal of the day. No real opportunities, so not a lot of real size today. Snow is my only play. I say this is probably the support line where I would probably add one more, and if it continues its weakness, I may have to hop out because it's kind of looking like a head and shoulders to me right now in the 5-minute. But they don't expire. The 30-minute does have a little bit of a reversal pattern, but this kind of looks like a bull flag still. Could be a nice little potential. Same with the 15, going to take a little bit. 1 hour still showing a little bullish pattern. 4 hour could do it as well. It won't take much. This thing could literally just flip and go. Does not take much. So as soon as the buyers come in, they're here to stay. And I'm down $11 on 3 contracts. I'm trying to get up to 5 to 10 potentially, but I don't want to buy into the downside chop. So I'm just slowly scaling in. Meta's dying, Nvidia's dying. It might be I might be getting trapped because the market is so weak. Just looking at the price action on SPY, I could see a nice little bounce at some point here. That 410 seems to be pretty strong. We'll see what happens. It is like in a downtrend though, as you can see the red band, green band just slowly pushing us down. This is all I got. Is there any questions on this? This is literally the only thing I'm playing. Literally, that's it. I'm only in 3. I'm not looking for too much right here. I might go a little bit heavier here in a second, but I hate how weak the market looks. I hate that it's on a downtrend. And I hate that it's like below 410 now, so until this gets above this VWAP, I'm going to sit pretty slim on these contracts. Even though I'm up a little bit. My average is 154. I think that's a great average. I just don't want to put myself at too much more risk if it does continue to break down. Snow's going to probably follow more so the QQQ than anything. So this one doesn't look as weak, but it is lagging behind, so it might be weak. Tesla hit that low of the day that I had drawn. That's from yesterday. $29. I'm only up 200 on the day, but I feel like this could be an easy $1,000 day. On this turnaround, this thing could be an easy $1,000 day. I'm waiting for this VWAP touch though, because if it rejects me, then I'm not going to have too much confidence. Pushing towards her, baby. Let's go. I love the consolidation. I just hate that this market is so. It's just like bear flag, bear flag. It's not moving much though. I mean, it's dropped what? Almost $2, less than $2. This has dropped about 4. Back in the red. Only in 3. Guys, snooze fest. Absolute snooze fest. I'm still waiting for a little bit of green here. I'm obviously right at my cost basis or even down a little bit flat, but still waiting for that consolidation. This is why you don't buy into these red candles right away, because, I mean, this slow chop is not going to get into you. That's why I've been slowly scaling in. I'm still looking for about 5 to 10 contracts for that turnaround play. I think I could get that here pretty soon. I'm going to try to buy one more down here at 153. Keep my cost basis pretty similar. Still think that we have that opportunity to go towards that high of the day mark. Come on, baby. Give me some. I just want to see, like, every single day we die, and then we'll rip, and then we'll kind of just level off. Same thing that happened yesterday. SPY died and slowly stopped and then ripped. And then same thing the other day. This one was just all day up. We die, and at the end of the day we rip. So same thing, die, rip. So I'm hoping that just happens again. I haven't seen too many red days here. I don't want to catch one now. Obviously, slow, small trade. A little over 200 bucks here, but like I said, a run towards that high of the day mark could be pretty nuts. Or even just over this 156, just some bullish momentum to return back to it. I wouldn't even look for that breakout anymore. I'd probably just try to take an opportunity where I could sell these over 200, maybe 250. But I don't want to just only have one or only have three. Very, very boring day, guys. I'm sorry. But the opportunity's there, and trading is 99% patience. So here we go. 1% execution. And then an extra percent for being cute. Let's see. Meta, I got nothing. Amazon, she's still doing her thing. I got Amazon at a pretty nice cost basis in my share portfolio. Airbnb, I don't know if I believe in them, but I own their shares. I think that their model is pretty ridiculous. Coinbase, I am going to start buying a ton of these at this 56.8 level. So if I can see a little bit more weakness in Coinbase, I'm coming in at around that 56 for a cost base. I honestly might sell some of those contracts. It's in a nice little downtrend right now, but how often does this just slide all day? Oh, shit. Pretty often. 64, 62. I might sell these. Let's see how much these would be. I might just collect $100 real quick. Or maybe more, 55. I'd like to buy 100 shares around like 56, 57. It looks weak though, so this is probably a bad time to sell a put. I feel like this could probably push down below towards that 58. But as it gets closer, it won't expire as bad. I'm up 12% on this trade. I only have 3. I know I keep saying I don't have very many, but there's not enough volatility for me to get into too many. So I'm just going to try and take as much profit as I can. The market might actually be a nice little scalp here if it can bounce. It's not going to bounce. It looks like another bear flag. Honestly, you'd probably be smart. Look at this trend. This little like bear flag, and now it looks like it could sell off again here. So till it breaks this downtrend. It did bounce off this pre-market random wick that happened pre-market. So maybe that is the buy side. Wait and see. Maybe snow is dead weight. I have a call at 11 that I might have to hop on real quick, but this is my trade. Not much is happening. I will hop back on here if anything starts to happen, but this is just I mean, you guys can tell it's just paint drying. Usually that's a lot more fun than this. Wednesdays are, like I said, Wednesday always kickstarts the week. Mondays are pretty tough. I really trade on Mondays. Tuesdays I kind of dabble in a little bit. Wednesdays and Thursdays are the big days. So that's where we'll probably see a lot more action. This is probably going to fade off below. It's just been in a downtrend. Snowflake. She's not moving yet, but I feel like that 158 is still intact. We could go up to that level. At least it's 157. At that point, these would go in the money. They'd be worth well over 250. Would be a nice little payout. Probably not a ton of money, but still would be a nice little payout. I'm up 227 on the day. Probably put me above 500, 600 bucks. And then for power hour, I'd look for that $1,000 goal. So slow day, not as easy, not as quick as I usually like, but Got to get what the market gives you. So I'm probably gonna go get ready for this call, and then maybe eat something a little bit, and then I'll come back on if there's a little bit more volatility. But this is pretty brutal to watch. So Snowflake still confident in this. Reason for it is the consolidation. There is a lot more room on the upside on the daily chart. Did not hit that 160. I think it has potentially hit that 160. It did break above this 156. So there are obviously a lot of buyers up there. Sellers may try to knock it down, but with this consolidating, if the market doesn't completely die, I can see that this start to push up. So probably target sell around this 156.70, 157, get closer to the money. Take about $100 a contract. At this point, it would only be $300. If it fills me on this fourth contract here, it'd be about 400, 450-ish. See what happens. But the market is weak again. Like I said, it might be one of those days where it's just a bear flag all day in the market. So it just broke down again. I don't know how many more times we can see a bear flag breakdown, but could be interesting. Market's only down $1, so there's not a lot of opportunities out there. So here we are. Snowflake it is for me. Not moving, but low risk trade, still in the profit. Can't be that upset about it. And I think that my risk to reward ratio right here is a really good opportunity. If it starts to break down, I would lose about $100 or so. Max. On the upside, I can make about 400, so good opportunities. Hit 135, damn. Just waiting for this bad boy. I think it's going to start pushing up here pretty soon, I won't lie. I think it's really starting to kick above this VWAP line. I'm probably slamming some more contracts. I'm only up $52. I want at least $200 on this trade since I've waited so long. And I want to get more contracts, but I'm a little bit nervous because it cannot break this VWAP. 1, 2, rejection, 1, 2, 3. It's been about 30 minutes or so. You guys have watched me on this trade for 30 minutes, so I'm boring the shit out of you. But, all right, I'm going to let you guys do your thing. Hopefully you catch something. I don't know if there's much opportunity. I could see Tesla maybe slamming down to 190, and then everything else is pretty much flat. Tesla down to 190 is what I'm watching. Snow for the reversal if the market goes up, but if this is just a slow fade all day, then that Tesla 190 seems pretty easy. But if it starts to bounce a little bit, this Snowflake to 157-ish would be a really great play. Just because it's chopping around right now. The contracts aren't really moving. They expire on Thursday, so Theta's not going to destroy you today. But on the rip up, even $2, these contracts will pay over $50, $60 a piece. So I think this is a good opportunity. I think it's the best setup in the market. The Bollinger Bands are getting pretty tight. There's no volume in it, so it might be dying off. I might just have to take my small profits of like $60 and stop being greedy once it gets to that point. But for now, I'm logging off. That was boring as shit. Sorry about that. I made a couple $100, but I think that the Snowflake play still has a good opportunity. So if you need me, just hit me up. I'll be back on when there's more volatility.